The new Powerbeats3 are one of only a handful of wireless earbuds that comes with Apple's new W1 chip. Out of that handful, it is the only model that comes with full around-the-ear support. It makes them the most attractive options for those wanting to use them in more active settings like running or working out at the gym. By including Apple's W1 chip inside the headphones, it means connecting them to your iOS or macOS devices is relatively straightforward. All you have to do is press a button here on the left-hand bud. But that's not all that the W1 chip does. It also increases the battery life to a pretty impressive 12 hours for something that's so small and lightweight. And it also maintains a better connection than what your standard Bluetooth one does. That's really evident to me running around Melbourne streets underneath tram lines. For my Android friends, the W1 chip really does nothing for you, unfortunately. But that doesn't mean that you can't use the Powerbeats3. They just work like any other normal Bluetooth headphone would, and it's just a simple pairing setup that allows you to connect to them. Design-wise, the Powerbeats3 aren't that different to the Powerbeats2. The left-hand bud has your power/pairing button, and it also has a micro USB port for charging. The around the ear piece, well, that's just a piece of rigid wire that's covered in rubber, and you're really relying on that to be manipulated and moved so it fits your ear in the best way it can possible. The earpiece itself, it doesn't actually swivel in or out, and that can get quite uncomfortable when you wear them for a long time, or it really did for me anyway. Connecting the two earbuds is a really lightweight and adjustable strap. It's also got some inline controls, which are pretty standard for any wireless headphones. Play, pause, volume up, volume down, and double taps to skip between tracks or go back. There is also a microphone on here, but it's barely legible in any testing call that I made. So I really wouldn't rely on these if you're going to be walking around and making calls at the same time as well. So how do they sound? Well, powerful, I think would be a good way of describing it. It's almost as if sound feels pushed out of them and into your ear canal. And a lot of that has to do with the amazing fit these had when I first took them out of the box. I literally did not have to change a thing. But it's not a feeling that you want for every piece of music. And that's something I've sort of come to learn as I've tried them out more and more. For bass heavy or beat driven music like R&B or hip hop, the Powerbeats3 bring an entirely new level of experience to some of those tracks. For example, listening to Childish Gambino's Bonfire, there were small little nuances and things that I don't think I've ever really heard clearly before until I listened to them through the Powerbeats3. And I've listened to that track 100 times or more. Sadly, the experience doesn't translate to other genres as well as it does to R&B and hip hop. Classical, for instance, just sounds flat. It's kind of like it's lost its soul, or something's just completely gone wrong in that register. Other genres like acoustic tracks or pop and EDM, well, they get through, but they're definitely lacking some mid-range that takes away from the listening experience. But as more and more tracks move towards a heavier beat, the Powerbeats3 do a really good job of pumping up that bass, which is pretty much every pop top 40 thing at the moment. The Powerbeats3 definitely have a lot going for them, but they're $260. They're probably the most expensive wireless earbud around today. They're even $30 more expensive than Apple's own AirPods, and they have W1 in them as well. Where these stand apart is just how well they fit. If you're a person that has problems with earbuds actually staying in your ears while you're running or walking or whatever it is that you're doing, then the Powerbeats3 are probably the best option available for you at the moment. That is if you have an iPhone.